And in the 8 o'clock kickoff, winless Burnley welcome Manchester United to Turf Moor, who lost 4-3 away to Bayern Munich in the Champions League on Wednesday and have lost their last 3 games. And Paul Merson, the theme has continued for Manchester United this week. We spoke last week about Erik ten Hag continuing to have to firefight, reports of more dressing room unrest coming out, this time about the perceived treatment of David De Gea. We'll talk about Onana's week in just a short while. In terms of what's happening on the pitch, but also what's happening off the pitch, how worried should United fans be right now?
I think this is a big month coming up for them. I think if you look at their fixtures, Burnley, and then they've got Palace twice in the Cup and then in the League, got a couple of nice fixtures coming up. It can quickly turn around this. I think it's a massive... I looked here, I think about the next 7 games, I'd expect them to win every game, if I'm being honest.
Would you describe Burnley away as nice?
There's a lot worse. You know, you've got to remember, I say Burnley away is not Burnley away of Sean Dyche's Burnley away. This is a Burnley that are going to go and pass the ball and they're going to play. It's not like you're going to play against 2 up, a 4-4-2, 2 up front. They're going to lump the ball forward. It's going to be hard work. This is going to be a football match. If they don't beat Burnley, they're going to be in major trouble. Major trouble. Too much is happening off the pitch. You know, too much is coming out. Something's got to nip it in the bud. I think this is a big 7 games for Ten Hag. I don't think if he gets through these 7 games, I'd be shocked if he was there, and I really mean that. Because this is Manchester United. I still think they're the biggest club in the world.
And the worry, Clinton, is when you listen to Erik ten Hag yesterday speaking ahead of that 8 o'clock kickoff against Burnley tonight, he talked about that he doesn't know why his players, in his words, have stopped running, why they've stopped pressing, they've stopped worrying, running back. Yeah, these are his words. He's got major question marks over how his team are playing. But this is the manager saying these things.
If we want to keep players on side, I don't think he should be coming out and saying that. But...
Is that part of the problem? He's losing players.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. Obviously, you're not in that.
He will with them quotes.
Not in that dressing room. But as Merson said, with them quotes, you will start losing players. They're just in a bad run at the moment. Even the other night, I watched the Bayern Munich game, and listen, Bayern Munich by far the better team. They still scored 3 goals away. When you score 3 goals away from home, you think you're going to get a result. So as I said the other night, I think defensively at the moment they can't get their best players on the pitch. They've got a lot of injuries to key players. But as Merson said, these next 7 games are big for them. But they're all winnable for Man United Football Club. If he doesn't win these matches, he will come under big pressure. I just want to clear something up as well. So Man United fans have been having a go at me a lot.
Have they?
And they don't
what have they been saying?
No, let me... I need
Get
to
the
make
violence out,
no, it's not violence, because I'm not bothered. I can take it.
Oh, you are? Because you're calling it out?
Yeah, because you know why I'm calling it out?
Come on.
I've got the stage to call it out. That's what I mean. So it's quite good.
Who said this was your stage?
Well, no, it's not. It's everyone's stage. But listen...
Do you need a mic or not?
No, I've got a mic.
Sorry.
Jules asked me a question the other night. He said, would Man United be better now, if they had Harry Kane or Højlund? I said, without a shadow of doubt, Harry Kane at the moment is miles ahead of Højlund. It doesn't mean, Højlund's a bad player, which all these Man United fans think, and they say, oh, he's 20 years of age. What was Harry Kane doing at 20 years? We weren't combining what they were doing at the same ages. We were combining what they're doing now. And if they had Harry Kane now, Man United would be a better footballer. Højlund could have an outstanding career at Man United and score loads of goals in the Premier League. We're comparing the here and now. Thanks very much, Simon.
Well said, Clinton.
Here all day.
Put the record
here all day. He's here all day.
He's here till 5:56.
If anybody wants to tweet into him and it ain't what he likes, he'll call it out.
How much, Tim Sherwood, is what we're seeing from United down to those injuries in defence? Because they've got plenty of them. If we look at the kind of players who are out at the moment for Manchester United, there's some key figures missing, but does that entirely explain what's been going on so far this season?
Well, it doesn't help, but obviously when you get injuries to players, when you're Man United, you've got to be able to deal with it. You know, Varane, I don't think has been great since he's been to the football club. Luke Shaw was playing centre-half instead of Harry Maguire. Before, he's got a minor knock. I'm not sure how much he wants to rush back from that one if you're Harry Maguire, do you know? So the way the manager treats him, listen, I just feel that it's a man management problem. I feel that he's not great at that. He hasn't had to do that in his previous clubs. Because if you're I actually leave a player out, you can bring a kid from the academy back up and you still win the football match. At Man United, sometimes you have to tread carefully around your group. Listen, he's not got a wealth of talent there at the moment. He's got good players and they're certainly better than what they're showing on the pitch. But are they capable of challenging for the Premier League, which Man United fans want to see? Absolutely not, a million miles away.
Tim, you manage in the Premier League. Like his quotes there, what Simon's just said, are not good. If you said that, would you have gone back in your office after and thought, What did I say that for?
Yeah, I've been there many times, and mate, when you say that, it's you can't get them words back.
Yeah.
It's when you're talking in front of the press, you're talking to the board, you're talking to the fans, you're talking to your players, and you need your players. You need your players to get yourself out of trouble, and at the moment they're in big trouble. You highlighted it, Merce. They've got good games. They've got good games to win. It's a disaster if they lose these football matches.
And Sue, there's never been a lot of tension on Andre Onana given the week he had in the Champions League, that Leroy Sané opener in the game away to Bayern Munich on Tuesday. But on the positive front, given what's happening in defence, I mean, they have conceded 10 goals in their last 3 games, which is some going, but teams are cutting through that defence at will. On the positive front for Onana, have there been positives so far?
Yeah, I think he's had a mixed start, hasn't he? And yeah, you can look at maybe the inconsistencies in front of him in terms of the defence, keep swapping and changing, whether that's through injuries or lack of form. Obviously, the midfield area as well, where teams have just cut through that midfield area. But I think you look at. He was brought, wasn't he, to Manchester United because of his ability with the ball at his feet. The fact that he can play it with his left foot, his right foot, he can play short passes, he can play those long passes. Ten Hag obviously knows him from his time at Ajax, and he was crucial in Inter's run to the Champions League final. So, he made a lot of saves along the way in that. So you can see the positives that he brings, but also, yeah, I think, obviously there's highlights of where he hasn't done those things that you maybe expect him to do. And I do think you have to remember that instability in front of him isn't going to help a goalkeeper. You want that, don't you? You want that, back four that who you've got, the midfield. You want that midfield to be able to cover and protect the defence. And he hasn't had that. So we're obviously seeing the negative side.
Yeah.
To him as well.
The problem is with the goalie, with him and De Gea, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, you go, right, what's De Gea good at? What's he good at? He's a good shot stopper.
Yeah.
What's this lad good at?
With his feet.
With his feet. Surely you want a goalie who's going to save shots. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. You've got someone who... I know people give him stick to go. He won the Golden Glove. He kept more clean sheets than anybody else. I mean, and they brought this lad in. He's great with his feet, but I haven't seen him save too many shots at the moment.
And he called, Michael, that game against Bayern Munich midweek one of the worst games that he's ever played in from a personal point of view. But if these rumours are true, that there are players within that dressing room who are unhappy about the way that De Gea has been treated by Ten Hag, for a new man coming in, even if he's coming from Inter Milan, he's gone all the way to the Champions League final, that's not helpful.
Well, it's not helpful the way he came out and he airs his washing outside. I see the Sancho one and I think they were both in the wrong. He got questioned why wasn't Sancho involved. And I know sometimes, Tim never used to mince his words, he would say what he thought about you in the dressing room.
Yeah.
I can't remember too many times he really came out and publicly criticised his team, certainly me when he managed me. And I looked at that and I thought there was no real need. And what was he gained to chuck Sancho under the bus? Sancho then comes back and speaks out on social media. I don't agree with that either. So it just makes an environment where we're airing all our troubles out for the media, the public to see it, and it doesn't help because they're not going through a good vein of form at this moment in time. Defensively, they haven't been good. Individually, they haven't been good, and they're conceding way too many goals. And Onana, I listened to his interview after, he was very honest, and he had to be because he had an absolute howler with the first goal. Everyone makes mistakes. But like Merce said there, he isn't making loads and loads of saves. However, Erik ten Hag has worked with him, he knew what he was getting, and the way he wants to play, he's out from the back, and he didn't believe De Gea could do that.
And picking up, Clinton, on what you were talking about, as you set the record straight on Harry Kane and Rasmus Højlund, he scored against Bayern Munich. He ran himself into the absolute ground. In terms of positives for United, it's what we've seen for him so far. Not a huge amount, been one of those positives.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the fans, they were disappointed when he come off against Brighton. They made their feelings known. He looks good. He's 20 years of age. He's coming to a new league, the Premier League, the best league in the world. It's going to take time, but I thought against Bayern Munich he caused problems and eventually he got his goal. He had a goal disallowed last week against Brighton, and you know what I like about him? He's always in and around the 6-yard box. He's a centre forward who wants to score goals. Yeah, he can improve outside the box, but he's a youngster. He's still learning learning on the job. And as I say, I think it'll be an outstanding signing for them, and that goal in the midweek will give him huge confidence moving forward.